Hey guys, what's up? I'm going to make a video today that's going to pertain specifically for Wing Chun because this entry is in the Wing Chun in the Chi Sao, but it's broad enough to show how we actually spill it over or introduce it into mixed martial arts, for example. Okay, so you need to really listen to what I'm saying to get the understanding of the foundation. So like how you can apply this in the foundation. Okay. In this video, just like every other video that I ever make, you'll never get everything because it'll be impossible for me to explain everything for you to get it, especially virtually. So this is, everybody and their grandmother has probably seen this. This is called Chi Sao, okay? Sticky hands. So what we're doing now is really technically called Luke Sao. And Luke Sao is just kind of feeling each other's energy out. So before we continue, for you guys who are non-Wing Chungers, there is in the form, which is then put into this Chi Sao, something called a Bang Sao and a Tan Sao. And then you have your Fuk Sao, and this is a high Fuk Sao, so remember saying high, and a low Fuk Sao, okay? So all of these characters are being put into this. The difference is, as you get better and better, you just don't see it because all you think we're doing is this. The other thing I want to mention is this energy from elbow to elbow is not going up and down like a piston. As a matter of fact, the elbows along with the hands with my energy is always going forward, okay? So right now I'm trying to go forward and he's going forward. Although it may not look like it, he feels it and I feel it. And one of the things that you would see in a Chi Sao practitioner, so you know that he's going forward, is if I were to move this hand, for example, let's say I wanted to strike his face, the wrong way to do it would be to follow that hand. So the wrong way would be to follow that hand. See, if he follows that hand, I can run it, which is called a Hun Sao. And he's so occupied with this hand that he misses this shot. So that is a very, very important thing. Now, this is true if you're driving and you're going towards the rail because you're scared to hit what? The rail. So the main thing is to go back to the center, what it is that you need to get to. So if he does this correct and I try to move off, he doesn't follow the rail. He continues to go straight. And when he goes straight, that's an automatic blast. So the way I want you to think about this is that we have two competing energies that are going forward. And his body represents a dam and my body represents a dam. And in any one of those cases, these dams break, the water continues to go through. The water is there like energy, it's just waiting, and the dam breaks and that water just flies through. And that is really how our Chi Sao is supposed to be done. So, like I said, Luke Sao is kind of feeling the energy. Chi Sao is kind of now putting into practice all of the little techniques and principles. So I wanted to shoot this punch and whoa, he does what's called a Quan Sao and then he's ready to hit. And then I might move and I might do a bill or I might do a Lop Sao, which is to pull. And then he brings that elbow out and then again, boom, and we fall back into place. So that is more Chi Sao. So it's like kind of doing, I want to say checkers. I was going to say chess, but it's like doing checkers. Now chess, or the explosion version of it, the military version of chess, is the same thing as Chi Sao, except you ever seen the game Who Sank My Battleship? Well, when I'm moving in there, I'm purposely trying to hurt him so that I can let go and release. So every shot is not even necessarily waiting to hit here to Who Sank My Battleship. It's to get rid of all of this artillery. So then when I get to the battleship, I can just hop along and just shoot the captain with my gun. Because at this point, I don't need a bomb or missile to go there because I've already took the weapons or the armory out of the way. So that's what's called Gorsao, okay? So what does this have to do, or how can this get translated into mixed martial arts, into MMA? So in jiu-jitsu, and MMA in general, but jiu-jitsu, they have something called pummeling, you know, boom, and they pummel and pummel. It is similar to what we're doing here with regards to energy. But this Chi Sao practice inside Wing Chun, to me, is like what a next level jujitsu person would do, because the nuances of this are so meticulous. Again, you would have to feel this with someone to understand. So if I wanted to get there, my hands are only going to get me so far. Boom. Okay, it's only going to get me so far. And even if I were to touch him, he's able to scathe or kind of repel some of that impact because he's got his other guarding hands. Okay, so at the end of the day, we know, I'm going to do it a little fast, regular, that it doesn't matter if I went boom, boom, bam, and I shot boom, because even if I hit him, he's still going to be combating, because one thing has happened here. Two people have not moved position. This is exactly the same as two guys in a boxing ring just going at it. He hits me, I hit him. He hits me, I hit him. And one of us is just going to get caught right and get knocked out. It doesn't mean that one of us is any better than the other. It just means one of us got caught. That is not really strategic fighting. That's not fighting at all. That's just a lot of brute stuff. Really, that means if you fight like that, anybody has a 50-50 chance of winning. So you want to up your chances, okay? So let's say we were in a fighting type of position, okay? Now I see he's got a longer reach. I see he's taller than me. I see he's a little bit more heftier than I am, right? So that means this is a formidable person for me to get into. So I'm not going to stay here and bang with him regardless of any speed or accuracy, because it's not enough to take him out. So what's going to be enough to take him out is for me to get there. So something as simple as when he throws his two is something as simple as a gung sao. Okay, so that's kind of like a sort of parry. But the gung sao into a bil sao into a lap da. That probably just sounds like Chinese to you because, well, it is. So when he does that, here's the gung sao and here's my bil. Bil, and watch, I lap and da. Bam, bam, and close that gap. So in real life, when we're kind of doing this and he throws it, I'm like, whoa, I want you to see the whole action, okay? So we do here, whoa, 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 boom. So all of this is happening almost like I have, I definitely have to get to my new position. I have an urgency where if I stay here and he goes in and let's say I did this and this and this, and I did all the right characters and all the right moves, I didn't get into position to do anything. So position is going to, it has to be primary above everything. But position isn't just something that you fall into. Position is something that you put yourself into. Again, this is the same thing, and I was just talking to Hassan a little while ago, that's analogous with real life. If he represents my promotion and I talk a good game from here, and man, I could definitely do that job, man. I do it better than my boss, and I know that I can do. This is just talk. This is just talk. And you may know how to do it, but it's just talk at this point. There's nothing that you're physically doing to get you in to make sure you get into a position to see if you can actually execute what you're telling everybody you can do. And that's the difference when we're here is I want to get in to position, into position. You can't see, but I crash his knee and I crash with an elbow and I move into a position. But that move can't be, it's got to be subtle, okay? So I can't say, okay, I'm in front of him. I'm going to move to a position before I act, because that's not how real life works either. It's like you're on this diving board and the moment you jump off, nothing is going to change the final outcome. At some point, you're going in that water, okay? That is exactly what you're doing here. So when I'm here and I want to get there, there's something in here that happens and I'm jumping off the dive board and I have to get into position for my shot. Okay, so like this type of stuff, eventually gets into trapping hands and things of that nature. So I'm just going to show you one little thing. And this is something that isn't always necessarily practiced, but for WCS, this is something that we do heavily when it comes to the grappling. So I'm going to do it from this chisao position, okay? So if I was here, I'm going to, like I said, it's fuksao. I'm going to fuksao, and I'm going to take my biosao, that's the thrusting fingers, okay? And I'm going to put it in his neck. See, he has an option. So when I bring him in like this, you see how he's covering this? I brought him in. He might want to transition to a low quantile or something like that. So I don't give him that opportunity. So this has to happen together. So I do the fuksao and I put this in his neck. Now, when I put this in his neck, this is when I can go in. Boom. I'm going to take this hand. I don't know if you can see. Let's turn around. I came in. I'm using this joint of my thumb and I'm crashing it into his neck. Okay, we have these jugulars right here, and I crash this into his neck. And watch, this is uppercut, straight up. I go in and start crushing. Now I'm crushing. You can't see again. I'm crushing his knee, bending backwards as I start crushing that aorta. Together, it's that type of pressure that ultimately breaks something. It breaks somebody. It's not a one thing, it's not a two thing, it's not a three thing. It's 1, 2, 3 all together. And that's, at the end of the day, what actual execution means. Execution isn't just a beautiful jab. Execution isn't a beautiful 1-2. Execution isn't just a slip uppercut. An execution is something that you do in totality with all of the arsenal you have in position. So anyway, if you have any questions, this is a very technical video, but for the people who enjoy that, I hope you enjoy it. And for the people who want to know more, just DM me or reach out to me. If you're watching this on YouTube, just hit me up and then we'll get in contact with each other. So this is what the video is all about. It's chisao, grappling, fighting, and all of the details that are involved than what you perceive it to be when it comes to chisao. All right, looking forward to hearing from you. Peace.